We are absolutely the place to be if you are a fourth row wrestling fan, my niggas, because we hurt people. We hurt people. We hurt people. To hear this in the settings of like,
I still had more jokes to do that were tight. I still had another extra tight 2.5. Tight.
Shout out to Tuco.
I know, right?
Today I had my first non-open mic show and it went rough. And the only significant crowd to speak of, spare to the other tables of 5 people total, was a large family dinner. Wherever you are as a comedian, if you are a comedian, get the F out of your town and perform for other people.
As they say in Andor, know your way out before you go in.
The comedy rebellion was built on hope. All right,
It's built on jokes.
It's built on jokes.
Hey, it's Hen Dog.
Black Zeus the Podcast Season 6, featuring Black Zeus and Dante, aka Black Zeus on YouTube, Patreon, and Instagram. Alright, I'm done.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Beautiful people. It's your boy, Black Zeus. I'm looking at the camera. Everything's all right. Welcome back to another episode of Black Zeus, the podcast. I am Black Zeus. You are the beautiful people, and this is the podcast, Season 6, Episode 19. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you guys had a beautiful week. I hope your next week is even better than your last. You know what this is, a place built by comedians for real comedy fans. That's you. We are here to run down our week in the game of comedy, talk some stories in the game of comedy, in the game. I'm learning how to speak today, ladies and gentlemen. My high is wearing off. I've been smoking the real quads. I am amped. You know what it is. It's the place to be if you're a comedy fan. Might as well get this on the road. Ethiopian 5-head making I'm in a good mood. Worked out today, so all my friggin' I'm pumping of endorphins and shit. Is that the right word? I don't know. I'm a musclehead now. Look at my wrist, nigga. This is nothing. Smoked weed earlier. What else did I do? Busy day. I went out in the sun. I took a nap. Worked out. I cleaned. That's probably why I'm in such a good mood. I know that sounds lame, but honestly, bro, like being an adult, the lame things are kind of the fun things. You just clean your apartment and you're like, I feel better about my life. I just got all that dirt out. Not time to bring new dirt in. Let's bring Dante in here before I completely tank this episode. You know what it is. I don't do this show by myself. I got the #1 producer in the game with me week to week, except for the weeks he decides to back out or when he's sick. Dante's in the studio.
We hurt people.
We hurt people. We hurt people. We hurt people. Damn, I wish you watched all of it. I watched like 75% of it.
Yeah.
I was thinking, I'm happy you brought this up because I completely forgot about this. We hurt people. If you don't know, by the way, Dante and I are chanting a theme song to a popular wrestling, that's right, I said it, wrestling group called the Hurt Syndicate, ran by MVP Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin, and their theme song is rapped by Westside Gunn and Smoke DZA and MVP. MVP is he's like the manager of the group.
Yeah, he's
also the commissioner. We are not, because you keep saying we should do wrestling recaps and stuff.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I don't want to be a WWE or AEW wrestling.
But now we've got the heels have eyes,
bruh. We are absolutely the place to be if you are a fourth row wrestling fan, my niggas, because we hurt people. We hurt people. We hurt people. Bruh. Westside Gunn I'm just I like and DZA and Smoke DZA. I can't leave out Smoke DZA because they have started a wrestling organization called Fourth Rope Wrestling. And if you are a rap hip hop fan, if you grew up watching wrestling, or if you are even a fan of wrestling now and a rap fan, this is the only authentic place for that shit. I know WWE likes to bring Travis Scott to WrestleMania. This is why we can't, because I do love WWE, but like so much of the dressing is just cornball bullshit to me now. Like Vince sold it and the soul of WWE left. You can see it. I'm not saying the product is bad. The product is great because Triple H and then the people that actually grew up in the business, loving the business, are still controlling the storylines of the business. But a big company just bought it, and now there's advertisement everywhere. There's Prime bottles everywhere. There's friggin', I don't even want to get into it. The stuff on the mat is kind of wild if you really think about the history of wrestling and how clean that mat has always been. To see them promoting some of the things they're promoting, super weird. And then WWE, because they are the biggest, you know, they like to flex like they're the culture. They ain't the culture, nigga. Travis Scott ain't the culture, nigga. Jelly Roll is not the culture, nigga. It is the mainstream. And you know how we feel about the mainstream. Just go look at last week's episode of the podcast and the week before that and the week before that and the week before that. And just look at this entire season.
Just the season? What about last season?
And the season before that. So yeah, just be on the lookout. We're not going to do it now because it already passed and we haven't fully watched it ourselves, but... Yeah. Shout outs to Westside Gunn Smoke DZA and Fourth Rope Wrestling because they are absolutely like reigniting. Like WWE has been keeping it steady. Mm-hmm. They've been keeping the love of wrestling alive. Yeah. But like what Fourth Rope is doing is like making me feel like a kid at a wrestling event again. And I'm very upset at myself for not knowing that Heels Have Eyes 4 was at Vegas, which is a very affordable. It's affordable to get in and out. Maybe not to stay. You know, like to book a hotel for a number of nights.
They make it cheap to get there because they know you're gonna stay there and lose all your money.
Bro, I would have slipped in and out just to see Fourth Rope.
Yeah, but weren't they in Detroit not too long ago?
And I know they're gonna be in Buffalo. They have to do something across the border. The only problem is they probably won't come to Canada because
he's not allowed to cross.
Yeah, I don't think they're allowed to. But if they go to Buffalo, yeah, we got to make that work.
And you know that's gonna be a big one too.
Oh my god, bro. Oh my god, bro. It's just, bro, Stove God Cooks did a performance. I've never seen a performance of this guy live.
Oh yeah, me neither.
Stove God,
but he's so good.
To hear to be in an audience where people know Stove God and they're all like chanting. Like I showed it to my buddy, and my buddy literally like he's biggest Stove God fan I know, bro. And he was like, what the he's playing this? Yeah. Like the way they merge rap and wrestling is just perfect to me. Yeah. It is.
Even the last one when they brought up Boldy and then they had like 80 guys deep on stage and everyone's rapping the word, you know, and then the crowd.
Even they bring out the legends too. I don't like Onyx. They had Onyx like open up the show a couple events ago, but this one was stacked. It had Joey Badass do a performance.
Really?
He did 3 songs. He did like a 15-minute set.
Sick.
And Flatbush Zombies were also on it. It opened with Smoke DZA, a Westside Gunn, and MVP doing "We Heard People."
Yeah, I remember that.
And then after Joey finished, Stove God came out. Yeah, and it's just
and they had
kitchen lights.
Yeah,
kitchen lights
under them kitchen lights.
Bruh, you ain't never watched wrestling under the kitchen lights.
Yeah.
Brings a tear to my eye, bro. I can't believe how healthy wrestling is. You know what it is though? It's why everything cycles back. Like I grew up watching wrestling and now we're all adults and we still love wrestling, even though for a period there it was cornball. But now we're adults and we run shit. So now because we're running shit, all the things that we loved as a kid are now making a comeback, but in like in a way that's respected. I feel like, at least for my generation. I'm sure other people like older and younger are like, this ain't for me. Yeah. But you will have your time soon. Don't worry. Foursquare and Teletubbies wrestling is coming down the line for TikTok wrestling in a decade and a half.
Hold on. Because Teletubbies is my era.
That's why I corrected myself.
Oh, why are you talking shit on Teletubbies, bro?
Get ready for Logan Paul and Mr. Beast Wrestling Organization.
Logan Paul's already in WWE.
Get ready for Mr. Beast Wrestling Organization in 10 to 15 years, you losers. That's when I'll be like, wrestling is ruined.
We brought in 100 amateurs.
Man, we had Stove God.
The hat is getting destroyed.
I know. I'm like, uh-oh. It's an antique hat, too, so I got to be careful. Let's get into this shit. How you living, bro?
Blessed and highly favored.
Hey, what you been up to? You know, before we get into wrestling... We have people. It's a comedy podcast. I apologize. I apologize. Before we get into the comedy of it, damn, it's already been like 10 minutes. This is kind of our pregame already.
It's okay.
We spent that time. Well, do we talk about Andor?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it.
We both watched Andor. I feel like I'm the resident Star Wars nerd. I know you love Star Wars, but like, yeah. I geeked out.
You watch it more than I do.
I geek out over Star Wars still, and I get very upset because they make it lame.
I was gonna say they make it boo boo.
I was trying to word myself properly here. Yeah, I think we both agree Andor was fire.
Yeah, it was sick.
Like personally, I don't remember as an adult liking Star Wars this much. As an adult.
Okay.
I haven't had like the new trilogy is nothing to me. I don't even consider it real. Well,
you didn't like the scene where they're riding the dog horses through the casino?
Somehow Palpatine returned. Oh my goodness. What the fuck are we doing here? And the prequel trilogy is decent. That's what I grew up on.
Yeah.
Like
same.
The OG stuff I think is the best. Even though I didn't grow up on it, I still look back at that and I don't know. Some of my friends, they can't watch old stuff. Are you like this?
No, I watch old stuff all the time.
Yeah. Do you have people like this in your life? Who literally like, oh no, that is too old. I won't watch it.
No.
Like the effects.
A lot of my friends like watching the old stuff.
Yeah. I feel like most of mine do, but I have a few that are like, I will not watch old stuff because it's old. And like they want the new sleek CG and all that stuff. I'm like,
yeah.
I don't know. To me, I like the tangible. Like I like the sparkler effects when the Death Star blows up. You know what I mean? Like, I just really appreciate how this felt like a show for adult Star Wars fans.
Yeah.
The theme was very adult. I mean, it was very mature subject matter. And I'm strictly prefacing this for the universe of Star Wars. But I would never expect to hear the R word. Like someone got SA'd in Star Wars. Never would expect that.
Yeah.
And for it to be handled maturely.
Yeah, but blowing up a planet's okay.
Well, okay, though. In the specific act, I think... I'm not saying it doesn't belong in Star Wars.
No, I get it.
You know what? I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I was kind of surprised to see them be like, you know what? No, this is a mature show. And we are going all the way. We respect your intellect.
Yeah.
To hear this in the settings of like
this guy's talking shit up the classics. What do you mean?
I'm just saying for those two things to exist in the same damn universe,
how can they?
Childhood me would not expect to go from to he tried to blank me. I'm like, damn. They respect me as an adult now. They know that I'm not. Although I feel like they've had a.
That was 20 years ago.
Yeah, but anything Disney's done has pretty much been. Yeah, I'm not gonna stop doing that. Go get the soundboard for me.
I left that at home today. I'm like, he's not.
Jam easy, I'm coming for you, nigga. Yeah, he's on tour, so I could break into his place right now. Just take that shit back. Use it for one sound effect, give it back. Someone broke in, but they took nothing. They took nothing. Yeah, I've been watching the Disney Star Wars stuff, and I would say Mandalorian has been more mature, but it's still very, you know what I mean? Like it's still very childish.
I don't get childish from Mandalorian.
You don't?
No.
There's so many parts of it that are clearly like Grogu in and of itself is like the cutesy little character.
Okay, so it's a cute character, like it's childish.
Well, the thing
like,
is, it's a child.
No,
it acts like a child.
He's 50 years old.
Oh yeah, you're right. He's 50 years old.
He's the what's his name?
Oh, this is the worst comedy podcast ever. We spent 15 minutes talking about wrestling and Star Wars.
He's the Hasbulla of Star Wars. No, I thought it was the baby.
That's so funny, bro. He's the Hezbollah of Star Wars. Oh my God. Send Star Wars 2-3 years Dagestan.
Send Acolyte 2-3 years Dagestan.
And it comes back Andor. Like, I'm just like, I'm kudos to that, man. The writing was perfect.
Yep.
The way it just leads perfectly into Rogue One, which leads perfectly into A New Hope.
Yeah.
Just kind of makes you want to watch them all together.
Yeah.
I actually know, like, I'm definitely going to go back and watch Andor now, just like all the way through at once.
Yep.
Maybe not right away. I say that, but you know, like, where's the time going to be for that? I'm going to go through the show I just watched. Like, ugh, I just thought about that out loud. Ugh. I'll wait and then I'll come back to it. But I feel like this will be one I will come back to.
Yeah.
How'd you feel about it overall?
I thought it was good. I thought it was neatly wrapped, which I like when a show is neatly wrapped. I like when a show.
Do you still give it that, knowing that the ending was already pre-written? Like it was already neatly wrapped.
Yeah, but there were still other plot lines that they could have left open, but they wrapped that too.
Okay.
Like with the field scene at the end there.
Yes, but what about also his sister? They never even brought that up again.
I thought she died.
No, they never brought her up again, so we don't know.
I just thought she was dead.
She might be dead.
Yeah. Well, then there you go. Star Wars 10.
Oh God,
sister.
That's gonna be the new like.
Yeah, she's actually a Jedi.
Oh God,
that's why I didn't like about the new Disney ones is that they just couldn't let Finn be a Jedi.
The black guy.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, but was that even ever written in? Oh, wasn't that whole new trilogy like just a mess?
Yeah, but I'm saying like
it was written like the only one movie was written at the time, so nobody kind of knew where it was going.
Yeah, but even then, like they had him holding the lightsaber, and like he was the one that was like having the story arc because he was a stormtrooper. He's like, this ain't right, da 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 da. And then they could have went so like if they had the Andor writers on that, would have been proper.
I feel like I've heard a lot of people saying they want the Andor creator to do more stuff, but he already has other stuff he's plotted to do.
Good.
I think that's great. Like, bro, this guy needs to go flex his like muscle now on other stuff. Like, I'm excited to see what he can do outside of the Star Wars universe.
Yeah.
But for what they did in the Star Wars universe, for it to feel like it stands alone also.
Yeah.
I don't think you have to watch Star Wars to enjoy that show. Especially given today's like kind of climate politically and all that stuff. You know what I mean? It very much is like, obviously there's the Nazi stuff with the Empire.
Okay.
But the way it kind of fits in today's modern dynamic.
It definitely overlays.
Like perfectly with the past and with the present and possibly the future.
Well, it's all the same.
Dun, 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 dun. Let's stop talking about Star Wars.
I think one of my favorite characters is K2, the droid.
Yes. I like that they fleshed him out a little more.
They fleshed him out a little as a robot. That's hilarious. But also like they really showed how like OP those robots are. You know what I mean? Because
that scene in the hallway.
The hallway scene is like that one is sick. And he's
everybody out,
and he's like
picks the guy out.
I know, and then he's like, "I've cleared a path."
He's super calm
in the town hall scene.
Yeah,
and they unleash like a battalion of them.
Oh, that's right.
And then they're like, "Yo," like they're like Terminator bots, and like, how do you?
Well, what are the ones from Mandalorian? The Death Bots or whatever. You know, the ones that actually look like the Death Troopers. I think.
I don't remember.
You would if they're the ones that were dispatched. Anyways, we're talking too much Star Wars. No.
All right,
just end it. This is a comedy podcast. We lost everybody. Let's move on to the comedy stuff. Although one thing I will say,
these guys weren't even droids.
Yes, they are. The Death Troopers.
No, they're in a suit.
They're droids.
They're not droids.
Not the first edition. There's like 2-3 editions of them.
I'm looking at them right now.
Look, all right, pull it up now.
No.
Oh, only you can look.
These guys are insane.
No, that's not it.
You said Death Trooper.
Then I'm saying the wrong name. I'm a Star Wars fan, but I'm not.
Say the right one.
Then I'm not that. Ah.
Oh.
You know which ones I'm talking about now. They're like sleek black,
no.
shiny black.
No, I was thinking of the silver one. Because then they rigged it to be a suicide bomber.
Oh, we're out. Andor,
and then they built a statue of him.
I'm out of here. Andor makes Rogue One feel like a different movie. All right, and now we're done. Unless you have one more thing to say.
Nope.
We're out.
Actually, hold on.
20 minutes in.
No, one thing I'll say.
Wait, that wasn't a joke?
No. This is the thing. Because at the beginning of Andor, Andor himself seems way more heartless than what he does in the show. Because he goes and just... I mean, spoiler, and for
wait, say
Rogue
that
One.
again.
At the start of Rogue One, right? Because he gets a distress signal from Tevnik or whatever.
Well, yeah, he's now caught up to where Luthen was.
I know, so he just murks the guy.
But that makes sense in the context of Andor. But before Andor, you don't have the backstory of.
I know, but I'm saying at the start of Rogue One, he seems more ruthless.
Yes, when he goes to the planet to get the info on the Death Star.
Yeah,
he just kills the guy.
Yeah,
but now having that backstory of the show of Andor,
Luthen kills the,
and that's he hated Luthen for that, but now he has become Luthen because he gets there's a greater cause here.
Exactly.
And F these dudes, we need to get this info. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to roll into Comedy Recap, ladies and gentlemen, a segment that is the reason for this podcast. Unfortunately, you wouldn't think it based off this episode, but week to week, Dante and myself come here and break down what we've been up to in the world of comedy, the shows we've been up to, and all these things. I'm limiting us. Because if we're going to do a UFC thing today, then this has to stick to like 10, 15 minutes total for us. So I don't need, where was I? I was at the corner. I did another show too. I did like 2 other shows. I guess I'll talk about the corner because that's the one I remember the most. Yo, it's summertime, bruh. Oh, I'll just talk about this. It was a week before this show. After we recorded, so that makes sense. Yeah, so like after we recorded, I did another show, and like I forget that now that summer is here, like I gotta leave super early. Oh my god, traffic is getting so bad, bro.
Yeah,
and Toronto's in the middle of playoffs, so which making it even worse. I was stuck in traffic for like an hour and a half leaving the club the other night after a Metallica concert.
Ooh.
It's like it was just easier for me to cut across town. I just drove across town as opposed to just being stuck on Spadina.
Okay.
And then shows this weekend. Where am I at tonight? I'll be at Free Times Cafe with Bong Young Kim. That'll be a fun one. Yo, can I take a second to salute Sai Kit? There was also another Asian competitor. I don't know him personally, so but another Asian comedian from Toronto. Who made it to the finale of Canada's Got Talent.
Yep.
Sai, you crushed it, bro. You absolutely made us proud, man. Like, I was messaging him the whole time while he was there. And
he was checking his phone on TV.
like, when he was backstage and stuff. And it was nice. He had, like, a little group of comics that went out to support him and stuff. I just don't think these contests, we went through this last year with Sterling. These contests, I don't think a comedian will win. But if a comedian does win, it's going to be a super wholesome, like, Canadian...
Well, they had a front runner and got eliminated.
Who?
I'm not going to say their name.
Oh, wait. Are we talking about last season?
This season.
Oh, I don't know.
Okay.
Oh. I didn't even watch this season and I know what you're talking about. That's funny. There were 2 comedians that made it to the finals. Again, the one I don't know. I know Sai had a great set.
He did.
Especially for what Canada's Got Talent is, I thought he took risks. But again, I just don't think this contest, these Got Talent style contests, are built for comedians to win.
They had a guy doing drones.
Yeah.
I watched the finale.
Did you watch it all the way to the end? I just watched until Sai got eliminated.
Well, we watched the whole thing. I was with Jam. So
okay.
So we watched. There's a guy from Dominica on there.
Who won?
I didn't.
You said you watched to the end, no?
Yeah, and then I didn't watch.
Was it a singer?
It was between like the two country singer guys.
I knew it, bro. I just saw it, bro. You see two white boys with like cowboy hats and like church crosses. I'm not saying this is a bad thing. I'm just saying once I saw them, I'm like, this is Canada's Got Talent.
Yeah.
Someone like that is gonna win.
Yeah.
You know, last year it was a native girl that could sing, or indigenous girl that could sing. It's like these are like how I feel like these concerts or these.
That's what I'm saying. They had someone that could have carried the torch and didn't.
Interesting. The fact that you can't even remember who won says everything about these contests. But salutes. Way to make it all that way. And I think he just got like a free year of phone. Like he got a phone and a free year of service.
A free year of phone.
Yeah, I had to. I'm like, wait, this.
He got unlimited minutes.
Essentially for 1 year. But imagine he has to give up his plan. Like I would actually keep my plan if it was one of those ones that don't exist anymore.
Ooh, yeah.
Because that's how Rogers works, bro. It's like if your grandfather didn't, you still get it. But
yeah,
we don't offer $50 unlimited data anymore. So new phone. I'm like, if I get a new phone, I'll buy it. Stop. Yeah. So I hosted the Corner Comedy Club. It is summertime. A little bit lighter crowd. It wasn't sold out. Usually the Saturdays will be sold out. The crowd was also a little start stop.
Okay.
Like they were with it. I don't understand exactly. You know, I was hosting, so I have to take responsibility.
Yep.
But I don't think like I had a great set. Everybody had a great set, but I always put it to the host. So because I was hosting, I feel like there was something I could have done to get them at least to understand the dynamic of a show better. Does that make sense?
Yeah, like laugh longer a little bit.
Well, like you witnessed this. It's not, again, it's nothing that the comics or I specifically did, but I still think as the host,
yeah,
I didn't address it.
I feel that.
You know what? That's not even true because I did, and every comic did.
But you didn't remedy it. You addressed it, but it wasn't remedied.
But I don't even. But this is the thing that I'm really like grasping with. Is there a remedy to this because you encounter it so often? Sometimes, like, what are the circumstances? And it's not the room because the corner. You've been to the corner. It's smash night.
Yeah.
So, like, what is the specifics? Bong Young had like his slow delivery, but he was funny.
Yeah.
But I went up there bombastic, and then I brought Bong Young up and made like. But again, it's not like we were bad.
Yeah.
But I just there's clearly something.
Yeah.
Energy wise, and then the crowd just doesn't like ride the wave, the momentum of laughter. It's like one of the weirder things that happens to me in comedy. I'm like, even as a host, I'll usually in those situations like, you guys have been to a show before, yeah? Da, 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 da. Like, yeah, like there's so many ways to try and address it, but again, these epiphanies that I've been having, maybe I'll wrap up my comedy recap with this, but I'm just kind of more in this space, making sure I actually manage my time better. I get out to shows that I haven't been actively like hitting up. But like the tree has been tapped. I've like for here, Southern Ontario, there's really nothing much more I can do in this space.
New wise.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's why my main focus right now is I want to go out west. I want to touch base with Sterling. I need to start producing, and like there's certain live stuff that will feed into all this other back end stuff. On top of just staying on doing shows and all these things. I want to do a tour.
Yeah.
Like I want to plot a little tour. So I'll use the summer to plot it. And then my goal is wintertime. Let's get something going. Cause yeah, like again, this is the space that I'm at. And there's no point in being jaded or upset or whatever. It's like, I know why I'm where I am. And I have so much more skill than I ever could have imagined. It's just, I'm so much more vocal than I ever thought I ever would be about the bullshit that I've experienced, but that's also who I am. So finding the balance in that, feeling like I've evened out on like how to use my voice. Now it's a matter of really building this platform, which we have to do on our own, kind of, especially the way I keep talking and running my mouth. I'm like, well, we're gonna have to do this on our own, and it's just more rewarding. But this is also like what I signed up for.
Yeah,
that's my recap. What'd you do?
Recap is a plot to the future.
The plot to the future. I talked about the show I did. Yeah.
Okay, so for mine, let me just make a note. Milestone alert.
Clink, 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 clink.
I did my longest set to date.
How long? 10 minutes?
8.
All right, we're getting there.
Yeah.
That's my next guess would have been 7. So to see you go past 7.
I've done a 7.
Okay.
So now 8 is my longest.
Like you were booked for an 8?
Yeah.
Who the booking 8s? Well, first of all, kudos. Do you feel good about it?
Oh, I feel great because here's the thing. When I got the light at 7,
yeah,
I'm like,
I could go longer.
I still haven't even done my closers yet.
That's a good feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how you know you're starting to.
That's how I could do a 10. Because if
you could do a 10, but it still might not be the tightest.
No, but I know, like, okay, so here's the thing, right?
Of your 8 minutes, how much was crowd work?
I don't do crowd work.
You don't?
No.
So it was all just straight material?
Just straight jokes.
No riffs?
Riffs here and there, but I'm not a riff
So
guy.
you went up knowing you were doing 8 minutes.
Yeah.
And you made it to 7 and you still hadn't like told a couple jokes?
I didn't even get to Transformers.
So yeah, you could definitely do longer, but there is also something to pacing too. Like
no, I know.
Like if you had 8 minutes, how come you didn't do the stuff you planned on doing?
Well, because I'm like, I didn't know how long 8 minutes felt on stage. So I'm like, I'm gonna do this, and then hopefully it's like I'm at 5 minutes by the time I get to this. Dog, I got like, I would say I got 60 to 70% through of the stuff that I wanted to do.
Yeah, that's how you.
And I could save like the best stuff for another time, but
or for a 10.
For a 10,
yeah.
But like that best stuff I use in my type 5.
Do you feel like you're ready to ask someone for a 10?
No. If someone asks me to do a 10,
okay,
I'll do it.
Or like, let's just say, this show gives out 10-minute spots or whatever. You asking for a spot?
I don't ask for spots at this point yet.
You're not asking for spots?
No.
What?
I'm not.
This is the place where you ask for spots the most.
I know, but I'm just saying, like,
you don't feel like you're at a place where you can ask for spots?
I will ask for a 10-minute spot.
Not even 10-minute spot. I'm just saying in general. You're not asking for spots? You're not. This is why you're not booking shit.
I just told you I have a show tomorrow.
One show.
And I had a show this week. That's 2 bookings without asking.
Okay. And you could have had a whole week's worth of shows if you'd.
Hey, everybody at their own pace, okay?
But what's the difference? What's the difference in your mind? The time is the same amount of time. The set.
If I do a 5-minute guest spot?
Not even a guest spot. Like, if like you're around so many newer comics and a lot of these guys produce shows.
Okay.
You're not being like, yo, book me on this thing, book me on that or whatever.
So they booked me for a guest spot because I'm not asking for a 10-minute spot.
Who said 10 minutes? Not all these shows are 10 minutes. The show tonight is a booked show.
Uh-huh.
Not everybody's doing time. Andrea's doing 7. I'm doing 12.
Okay. Yeah.
It's a booked show.
I get that. It's not tight yet. I'm not going to ask for a spot.
So then how can you, then I wouldn't even say I'm ready for a 10.
No. Okay, listen. I'm not ready to ask for a 10. But if the opportunity says, hey, you want to do 10 minutes? I know I have I still had more jokes to do that were tight. I still had another extra tight 2.5. Tight.
Shout out to Tuco.
I know, right? So like I know that because the stuff that I did was all the tight stuff that I've been working.
Yeah.
Right? Like the 5 minutes. And then I would swap out this section to work on this section and da. Right? So all that stuff has been growing. So now that when I'm like, okay, let me stack up.
I'm just trying to understand you better. I'm not obviously telling you how to run your career here. I'm just a little confused as to why you wouldn't feel the need to be like, yo, you have a spot. Especially because you're around so many comics with spots.
I know.
Are we not talking about progressing in this shit?
But I am progressing.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. You definitely are.
Yeah.
You don't, I don't know. I see like, that's funny. Cause like coming up, most of the shows are done when you're really coming up. And then you kind of scale out of those, like the micro shows, you know, like the micro book shows.
Yeah.
When you like, especially in this region,
Mm-hmm.
that's why I'm also feeling like, okay, I really have to
Yeah.
spend the time now to. That's also partially why I haven't been doing as many sets as I know I could. But now I feel like, okay, there's a ton of shows that I haven't even done at my caliber.
Yeah.
I got to go at least touch those. But yeah, like for me, I feel like I'm not asking for as many spots.
Yeah.
Because I need to focus the time on now getting to the other stages or building the platforms for myself.
Yeah.
Where the skill has already been accumulated.
Yeah.
Whereas for you, I'm like, this is the time in my mind.
Yeah.
And from my experience, all the newer, like you're begging for, not begging, but you know what I mean? Like you're looking for spots. You're hungry for spots.
I am. But like,
so like doing multiple 5-minute set spots in a week or even in a night, you could like when you booking one show, you wouldn't be like, okay, well, it's at this time. I'm in town.
not for the first time.
What time is the show?
This show was at 9.
Okay.
So like there's another comedian
yeah.
who like went and did other shows and da-da-da-da.
Yeah.
But because he was booked on another show. Right? I'm not. This is the first time I did 8 minutes. So I'm not gonna like try and squeeze in. Let me see if I could hit this mic beforehand and da-da.
No, after.
I'm chilling. I just want to take in the moment.
That's you know what? I respect it. I'm again, I'm just trying to understand.
Yeah, right?
Like I'm not saying what you're doing is wrong because who the fuck am I to say that?
When I feel like I can hold a tight 7 to 10 regularly,
Yeah.
where I know I can just bring it. Like I know I can bring my 5 places, but 5s you don't really get paid.
But how do you get to that point without more sets under your
People ask me to do time.
2 in 2 weeks?
2 in 1 week, first of all.
I love you.
Get it right.
Big yourself up. Go and big up yourself.
But no, because people see me do my 5 minutes, right? And then they ask me to do spots here and there.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how I got booked to do this one on Wednesday at Comedy Bar, which was like my first show. Like I did Wheel of Comedy
Yeah.
at Comedy Bar, but this was like an actual like where I
The
did
books
time.
show, yeah.
Yeah.
And not to say that Wheel of Comedy, but like
No,
Wheel of
but-
Comedy is like
and I
it's
also-
literally a chaos night.
Yeah. And I also got paid for it.
Attaboy.
Right. So like if I'm doing 5 minutes.
So is that the only like is that what it is? Like you really only want to be doing like proper booked shows?
I need to get paid because I have to drive.
Yes. But if you're already yeah, definitely. But
If
like,
I don't get paid,
but like
to
at
go
your
I
but
might
at
get
your,
stuck.
but at your stage,
Yes.
it's more not getting paid than getting paid.
No, I know. But that's why I'm okay with going to the
And that's why I'm like, wouldn't it be more beneficial for you to book multiple things on, especially when you just said what you just said?
No, but
you're driving out to town.
Look, there are times
Yeah.
where I know I could do multiple shows. This particular,
I'm not because this one seems like it was important. Obviously, you said you want to take in that moment.
Yeah.
But we're not talking. This is you generally right now because you're saying you generally don't.
If I can book, okay. If I can't ask to do an 8-minute set, I don't think it's tight yet. This is the first time I did it.
But you're the only one putting a time. Like, you know what I mean? Like, even you said this earlier, I don't have a 10, like as if all booked spots are 10s, or just now, I have a tight whatever, as if all spots are, like I just said, I'm on a show with multiple grades of comedians tonight,
Yes.
and the booker knows who can do what, and
Yeah.
gave everybody according time.
Yeah. I just don't ask right now.
That's fair.
Like
What will be the threshold for you? What in your mind? Like when you will only start asking when you know you have a tight 10?
I'll only ask for a 10-minute spot when I know I have a 10.
In general, though, because you're not asking in general.
Yeah. If someone asks me to do a 10, I will take it.
But when will you start asking for spots?
When
What in your mind is that threshold?
Okay, I won't ask for I won't ask for a 10-minute spot, But if someone offers it to me, I will take it. I will start asking for a 10-minute spot when I feel like I've done enough 10-minute spots to where I know it's tight and I know my material.
Okay, that makes
Because
sense.
I don't want to ask for a 10-minute spot and flub it.
Yeah.
I want to make sure that I know it's solid. Right?
You don't want to be me on my first Nubian set. I'm telling you, Kenny, put me on. I'm ready, Kenny.
Yeah.
And then it's like, what the what's that?
But when other people see me and they think I'm ready, they give me the time and I'll take it.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah, but that's going to happen regardless. At
So-
some point, you have to be proactive also.
Yeah. And
You're just going to wait for people to constantly...
No.
Well,
I
guess
told
what,
you
buddy? You're going to have very few spots because nobody's looking out like that. I got to give Dante a spot. Like, it'll happen, yes, but not to the extent that you think
I'm
you're
not
gonna
expecting it to be like everyone's just...
And that's why I'm like, how would you not want to get in the... That's the only place I'm at. Like, why wouldn't you want to start getting yourself training in the mode where you are training? You're in the dojo right now.
Yes.
This is where you're learning all this shit. But then like you're keeping a really important part, I think, till you feel like you're ready or something. Whereas like the whole thing of comedy is to just do it.
Yeah. And I did it. I
just want you to do more. But you do what you want. You do what you want. Again, I'm not you. I'm not Dante, ladies and gentlemen.
I feel comfortable asking for a 5-minute spot, right? So I will start asking, but I just don't ask for things right now.
You're not trying to put out that beg energy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want.
Well, you got a lot of things to get over in comedy, brother, because it's a lot of begging.
No, I know, but I like the way it's been so far.
Yeah.
Is the work that I've been putting in, people have been seeing it, and then they ask me, right?
So you know you're getting better.
So I know I'm getting better. Hey, come do this show. Come do this show. Sick. I'm only like, I'll say a year, but like I've only been grinding for like 8 months.
Okay, that's very fair. I like that you're being very honest with yourself and like giving yourself the space, you know?
Yeah, because
that's kind of sick, actually. Like, good for you. Like, good for you for not letting me. Don't let me bully your son. Go do more sets, you son of a bitch.
Look. Also, I like to say this.
Tranquilo.
Exactly, tranquilo. But here's what's sick, right? At the start of the year, I said I want to do more sets this year than I did last year.
Oh, you're. Pfft.
I already blew past that.
Hey, yo. This podcast sucks.
No, but I already did we're in 5 months now.
Yeah.
I've done more sets in this first 5 months than I did in the last 6 months of, well, I guess in total of last year. But the first couple of months I was doing like one set a month. Until we got back from Texas, that's when I really started going to the clubs regularly.
I noticed, yeah. That trip, you came back and all of a sudden you were like, I can't, I'm going to a show tonight. I remember the first time hearing you going on a road trip with a comic, I almost teared up. I'm like, oh my God.
But that was in December.
That was this year?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, that was last year we went to Niagara.
Oh, when you told me the first time, I booked that 10-minute spot. I messaged him. I said, I'm ready, you son of a bitch.
Yeah.
That's it for comedy recap, ladies and gentlemen. Let's move on to another segment we do here week to week. Indies Comedy Skreets. Dante and myself find whatever's active in the world of comedy online, and we give our 2 cents. This week, no different. We're gonna start going to different sources, by the way. Next week, we found a couple other sources, but this week, classic Reddit. Back to the stand-up Reddit board. This was posted by Burger King 4. Damn, the 4th one. We're close. We're close to the front of the line. BK, have it your way. Anyways, how do you handle a specific crowd is the headline.
This is kind of going back to your recap. Maybe.
A little bit. That's like all of it's, there's a method to my, if this is about Andor, I'm going to fight you.
No, there was also just one last thing I want to add about the recap.
Yeah.
One thing that I've noticed is I've really also been enjoying going up after someone that does really well.
Ooh, the challenge of that?
I love the challenge of doing that.
You're doing the right things.
And then, so, do you know Larry, right? You met him?
I mean, the first
at
name?
CFTA. He's got the
It's
teeth.
too many names, man.
Anyways,
I'm not good with names anymore.
he usually smashes when he goes up.
Okay.
Right. So I usually put myself up earlier in the list. This time I went a little bit later.
Yeah.
And then I saw like Larry put his name before mine. So I was like, ooh, okay, sick. Like pressure's on. What?
I'm just laughing. You're just like all excited.
Yeah, like sick. There's a nice crowd. There's like 15, 20.
You're so not allowed to do this after I already.
I know, but
cut to a clean new segment.
But you cut me off.
I said, you're done.
No, but anyways, I'm like, man, I love going up. I told Larry this after the show. I'm like, man, I love going up after you because, like, if I'm like, I gotta do well, and he's like, yeah, you just gotta ride that wave. You gotta ride that momentum. I'm like, because he's been doing it for some time. So a lot of people would be like, oh no, I'm following Larry.
No, I think that's a good thing.
Yeah,
but
that's what I wanted to add.
We're not doing UFC.
Okay.
Like, we'll save it till next week.
You're the one that wants to spend 20 minutes on wrestling and Andor.
Well, I mean, it was more important to me.
Anyways, Comedy Skreets, go
Wait,
ahead.
I gotta do a clean now. In these Comedy Skreets, ladies and gentlemen, this is the worst episode ever. You know what it is. Freaking me and Dante, we give our 2 cents on whatever's talked about comedy-wise on the internet. We're on Reddit, stand-up board. This shit was posted by Burger King 4.
That sounds like a Star Wars planet.
Oh, shit. Did you hear of the Battle of Burger King 4? How do you handle a specific crowd? And this is the post. Today I had my first non-open mic show and it went rough. Just by luck of the draw, it was kind of a dead night in the bar, and the only significant crowd to speak of, spare to the other tables of 5 people total, was a large family dinner. Oof, even just hearing that, my heart just shattered. You're doing a show and it's just a family dinner. Oh my God. In fairness to them, they clapped at every intermission and a few of the younger family members whooped every now and then. Other than that, they were a tough crowd. The bar had a rule of no crowd interaction, but the host had elicited that the group was there to celebrate a graduation. My material was not aimed at the demographic. My material is not outright political, but the context of my material definitely lets you know I'm a lib.
Political.
The material, wait. Oh, okay. The material has killed in front of young libs. Oh my God. But tonight I was dealt varying aged conservatives. They hated me and every other comic. Spare one woman who, all credit to her, evoked sporadic laughter from the family. All of this to say, when I saw the other comics bombing, should I have pivoted to super PG material? Not that I had a ton of that anyways. Should I have addressed the elephant in the room? Any tips? Disclaimer, this is not blaming the crowd in any way. They shouldn't pity laugh. I just need to know how hard I should be trying to pivot in these situations. Do you want to start?
Yeah.
All right.
I just watched the Crave documentary, People of Comedy.
Salutes to
Kenny Robinson.
Kenny Robinson, ladies and gentlemen. Go watch People of Comedy on your streaming platform of. Wait, I guess it's not of choice.
It's on
only
Crave. Watch
it's
it on
Crave.
Yeah. There's a segment where he's talking to Keisha,
Yeah.
and she was saying one of the big advices that Kenny gave her was to read the room, right? And that you should always tailor your jokes to the room.
100%.
Because you can't be doing Nubian jokes and there's no Nubians in the crowd.
Yes. Well, I mean, you can if they work.
But you get what I'm saying.
But you have to tailor it
It
to
has
work.
to be
You have
tailored.
to yeah. Like there has to be a part of you that knows,
Yes.
okay, I have to edit. Yeah, I mean, I've experienced this so many times. It's just through trial and error.
Mm-hmm.
I think I've discussed this on the podcast before. Like one of the things when I first started comedy is I always made a note to like just watch the opening of the show and get a read of the room. I didn't even know why at first, but then I grew to understand. It's like, well, you get the little nuances of the room, like how's the energy, like how do I have to do if the host isn't bringing them up? You know, like there's just so many variables. And obviously, the more you do it, the more you'll get a better sense of that.
Yeah.
I think this to him is the experience he's looking for, or her. I don't know. Burger King 4. I would imagine it's him. But It's what year is it? I don't know for sure, bro. This might be the Burger King Queen.
I was gonna say no.
Burger King. Oh, this podcast is canceled, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, it's a tough skill to learn, but one that you just kind of have to go through the motions.
Yeah.
There's something I wanted to say specifically, and I'm missing it. It's like my material is not outright political, but the context of my material definitely lets you know that I'm a lib. The material has killed in front of young libs, but tonight I was dealt varying aged conservatives. This is the point I want to hone in on this a little bit. Wherever you are as a comedian, if you are a comedian, get the F out of your town and perform for other people. Go where there's a different opinion. Go where there's a different culture. Go where there's just different. Especially if you're in a big town, I feel like you only get stronger when you start going to small towns, because small towns are completely different from big towns in terms of mentality even and culture.
Yep.
It's just more laid back. Usually when you're in a big town, like you'll tell a more bombastic, faster paced set.
Mm-hmm.
But when you like, it's just slowed down.
Tranquilo.
So it's like, and that's why I said what I said, like in terms of you could tell whatever joke. Bro, you could tell whatever joke to whatever crowd. If you're a strong enough, smart enough comedian.
Yeah.
I've gotten away with stuff later in my career that I would have never even imagined would have worked.
Mm-hmm.
Like that barely worked in like black rooms, let alone I'm like getting old white people to tell. Like I remember one time I had this old British couple be like, "We're from England. You should come and visit and do comedy here." I'm like, dude, I just did the blackest set. Like it was like, but it like funny transcends. And if you have the ability to make it relatable, then I don't think it matters what the subject is. I think it matters how relatable you can get it or how well you can get it across to a crowd.
But even how well you can get it across comes with a specific kind of tuning towards the crowd.
Yes.
Because if you tune it, you'll be able to deliver to that crowd even better.
Even better. And I like the disclaimer at the end. This is not blaming the crowd. To go back to my comedy recap for a moment, like where I was saying,
the crowd's fault.
No, I didn't blame the crowd.
I don't know.
Like they were start stop, but that is a dynamic that most comedians, if not all, have experienced. And it's like it's a weird. Sometimes it is your fault, but sometimes it's absolutely not your fault. How do you gauge which one is the case right now?
Yeah.
And that's why I still like I was the host, so I would put more blame on myself because I'm the one coming up in between all the comics.
All the other comics are like, conductor, we have a problem. Conductor, we have a problem.
And that's where I'm like,
conductor, we have a problem.
Like, it's not I have my suspicions, but it's not a matter of me blaming a comedian. I just think a certain style, like the beginning of a show is super important.
Yes.
The host and the first act set the complete tone of the show. You can have a great host and then a shitty first act, and it doesn't matter what the host does after. And I'm not saying that this is what happened.
Yeah.
Because everybody smashed on the show where I hosted. Or had great sets. But some people's energy is just different.
Yeah.
And like that's also the challenge of producing a show.
Yeah.
Where do you put who?
That's what I noticed when I was putting people on the show for the workshop.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, if I put this guy here and how does this guy's energy? I'm thinking of it like a DJ set, you know, because I got to go from
the
this
flow,
one.
the transitions.
So exactly. How does this song lead into this song? You know, you got to sprinkle in some
one
Pitbull.
bad note to just ruin the whole flow.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden the whole night's ruined, even though it was just one moment.
Yeah.
Like there's a new...
At least you have to build it back up.
Which can be tough depending on how far into the show you are. Imagine you're about to bring up the headliner.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, but like these are all variables that unless you do it, you won't... That's why you just have to do it. So when this person is asking for advice, my advice would be to really analyze this night for yourself.
Yeah. Did you record your set?
Correct. Like it will happen again, Burger King 4.
Yeah.
Burger King 4. Let's read some of these comments. Do you want to pick one that you're into or?
I mean, this one seems, this is also first non-open mic show. So they're still new.
Okay. This is by your statement, your first non-open mic show. No need to try and assess whether there's a pattern from one data point. Good point. Especially when the data point consists of an audience mainly there to celebrate an event that wasn't the comedy show. This is not to say there can't be anything you can learn from one rough show. There is. You're learning it. Oh, bro, this is, sure. In the future, if you think you have material that the crowd will like more, go ahead and do it. And sure, naming the elephant in the room can help sometimes. This is one way that it can go. Next time something like this happens, you'll be one data point more prepared. Next time something else happens, you'll learn from that also. You win some, you learn some. This was your first show. You'll likely have many more. Good luck. This was posted by my QKA plan. My QKA plan? Is that, I'm old, nigga. So this means something? I don't know what that means, but my shout outs to that person for having
Micah plan.
Yeah. My QK plan. My QKA plan.
No, Mike.
Oh, Mike
Kaplan.
Mike Kaplan.
Yeah, or Kaplan.
Kaplan is a name.
Mike Kaplan.
Reddit's flipping weird, but but that's the whole internet anyways. Who cares? Let's scroll down. You want to pick one?
Sure. Probably by keeping the word count to a minimum. I'm a one-liner if you'd believe it. No reason you should.
Huh.
Oh, here's something. Because I just learned this I would say this show kind of falls into that genre of ambush to where the crowd is there for something else, and then there just happens to be
the worst.
There just
nothing makes me feel worse as a comic and for the audience.
Yeah.
Than when you pull up to a spot. But like again, I'm not like entrenched in this space anymore, thankfully. Like
but that's kind of seemed like the situation because they're at a bar, people are celebrating something else, and then there just happens to be a comedy show going on.
Yeah, it's tough. That's always just so tough. Because it's never good. It's never good.
Patrice O'Neill once said something like, "If I'm going down, you're all going down with me. If the audience sucks, call them out, or just stick to your material, and the hell with them. The next mic will be better, hopefully."
I think I said this in the last like 3-4 episodes. This exact quote from Patrice.
I just heard it.
If I bomb, we all bomb.
I'm taking my 2 grenades.
Yeah, but I think that's also a little too far for where this person's at from my first show.
Yeah.
Don't go to Patrice for after your first show. Go after you've been in a bit and you've gotten frustrated and you're like, why is this industry so weird and lame? He will break it down for you in a very bombastic way.
Should I address the elephant in the room?
Again, I don't think you're a strong enough comic to do that. You probably would have made it worse.
Yeah.
By being like, this is awkward, isn't it? Well, okay, now you've addressed that it's awkward. How are you, funny man, going to make it not awkward?
Yeah.
Because when you do that, you kind of have to have a solution.
Yeah.
You've pointed out the problem, which we all know in the back of our mind.
Yeah.
But now it's like, oh, then you must be really good because you have a way out.
Yeah. As they say in Andor, know your way out before you go in.
The comedy rebellion was built on hope. All right,
it's built on jokes.
It's built on jokes. The comedy rebellion.
Built on jokes.
Type that in. That might be the title for the episode. The comedy rebellion. Go watch Andor if you're a Star Wars geek. And even if not, good show. Yeah, I think that's going to wrap it up for this episode. Again, we're not doing the UFC. I apologize for even bringing it up. We'll probably edit it out, but in case I get too lazy, here's another explanation of why. We will do it next week, and we will definitely not talk about Andor for 20 minutes off the hop, because it's a comedy podcast. Comedy! But yeah, let's wrap it up here. Dante, you have any final words for the people?
Check out Andor.
Great show. Fantastic show. Where can the people find you online?
You can find me online at Shadante, CHEZDANTE. Follow your boy.
Hey, and I'm AKA Black Zeus, but you already know this is the place to be. If not, then Instagram is the other place. I'm not even bothering promoting my other stuff anymore because why bother? Instagram, YouTube, those are the places to find me, AKA Black Zeus. If you are a comedy fan, then make sure you're supporting live comedy wherever you are. If you're in the neighborhood of us, then come check us out. I will be in Toronto all week, this week, next week, and London. I'll be in Kitchener coming up. It's a fun summer. I'll be at Nubian June. So last Sunday of June, I'll be back at Nubian. Excited for that one. But if you're following me on Instagram, then you'll be posted with all that stuff. I love you all. Just go support live comedy, support live art. Think critically, think for yourself. You know, it's weird times we live in, but they don't have to be weird inside your own mind. Why did this turn into like Jerry Springer all of a sudden? This is the final thoughts. Hoes will be hoes, but that doesn't mean you have to be a hoe. Till next week, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Black Jerry Springer. No, I'm Black Zeus. This is Black Zeus Podcast. Episode 6.
We gotta start over.
Gotta start the podcast all the way over. Season 6, episode 19. I'm up this mother.
Hey, it's Hen Dog.
Black Zeus the Podcast Season 6, featuring Black Zeus and Dante, aka Black Zeus on YouTube, Patreon, and Instagram.